welcome back to Dave's Garage 249. I'm Dave. Thanks for joining me. Coming up in this video, we're going to take a look at the parts that I had fabricated and had welded up before they went to powder coating. Then we're going to complete and work on completing the project of redoing the fuel lines, and you're going to find some interesting things, and some things that kind of frustrate me when you buy these cars from other people, but there's nothing you can do about it. Everybody has their own level of what they can do, including me. There's somebody that builds at a higher level than I do, which is someday I'd like to do. So anyways, so I exhibit some frustration, and then the logical order on this car is that getting the fuel system put back together again, then the carburetor, and change it out. Weather's improved. Today we had 60-degree weather, so it would have been nice to have had the car running, but it took a while to get some fittings here, and I'll show you how I modified a few things, and then we'll move on into the video. So let's go get going on it. Okay, as you recall from maybe a few videos ago, I've replaced all of the fuel lines in this car and upgraded to black fittings and stuff, and discovered when I was doing this that the pressure regulator, this fitting here that has the elbow on it, that the housing of the pressure regulator had been damaged. Somebody had cross-threaded it, or it was galled up. I ran a pipe tap up in there and chased it out and resealed it, but guess what? It's the housing is actually cracked, and once I fired the system back up and tried to set the pressure and all that, I discovered it was leaking from around there. So good old Summit to the rescue, give them a call. Got a new pressure regulator, and these fittings that are on the pressure regulator, they were blue and I painted them black, but we're gonna just get rid of all that stuff, and I bought all new fittings and just redo this 100%. So I get kind of frustrated because you pay good money for a car from somebody else, and then you just continuously find all these butchered up and buggered up and ham-fisted things that people do that just have no mechanical ability, and it just constantly causes grief. So that leads me to the next thing, is that I think I'm just going to build a car from the ground up. And why don't you guys in comments make some comments. Now I've built 2 or 3 drag cars, and I've got this Pro Street car, and I want to keep this one. I don't think it's going anywhere. So I want to build something different. And over here I have a Roush Mustang, and this is more the road race kind of stuff. This is a stage 3 car. Just kind of, I keep it covered up, but I'll give you just a quick glimpse at that, kind of. Something maybe along these lines. I don't want to build a dune buggy, and I was thinking maybe a replica of a 356 Porsche, but I don't know. I found a Kelmart GT body online that somebody has for sale, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to go mid-engine with a V8 Buick, aluminum block Buick, and make it mid-engine. So give me some thoughts and comments on it, and tell me what you think. In the meantime, I'm going to take these fittings out. Now I'm going to give you a pointer on these fittings. They sell AN fitting wrenches. They're kind of expensive, and what I found is that I happen to have some snap-ons, but what you want is, if you use a wrench that has polished flats inside, not machined, not stamped out, but polished flats, you will not scar up these fittings when you disassemble them. But if you use a more inexpensive wrench that does not have a finished jaws, then that will mar, and that will go through the anodized. Now, anodized coatings are typically about 0.2 of a thousandth of an inch thick, maybe a little bit more, plus or minus. It's up to the operator when they run batches of them. So that gives you a clue. I use my snap-ons, which I bought 40 years ago. So they were expensive then, and I'd imagine I couldn't afford them now. So that's the project here. I'm going to disassemble all these fittings and get it ready. Parts are on the way, and then we'll get this all buttoned up, and then this front carburetor gets changed out. So you can see I got the fittings apart, and there's no damage to any of these fittings. So that's tip of the day. So I'll finish getting this out. Of course, I'm a great guy and I use self lockers, so I have to raise it up to get to the fender well to get that bolt out, get this regulator out of here, and chuck it in the garbage. Okay, so let's go back to the fuel pressure gauge and the fuel regulator. That earlier I had replumbed all of the actual hoses and plumbing, and then I thought that this thing here I could just kind of paint it black for now. And if you recall from an earlier video, this fitting here that I put my finger on, I had to chase out the thread. The thread was galled, and evidently the damage was too great and it leaked when I pressurized the system. So I just decided that I would be better off to just get a new regulator and new black anodized fittings. And here's that's the 3/8 to -8. That will replace this bottom one, maybe. But here's another option. Because it's hard, you know, it's tricky to disassemble and assemble this because of this elbow here has to pass through the hole in the bracket. And here's a newer bracket. So I don't know, I'm just thinking that maybe I'll go with a straight fitting and change the hose end out to 90 degrees, which will make the whole thing easy to assemble and disassemble. But what you're giving up is the ability to slide a -8 filter in here, where my plan was this -8 filter and then the hose end, and I was kind of all set up for that. But I'll have to think about it. Summit sent me all the parts except for one, so I'm kind of waiting for a fitting. But in the meantime, I thought I could get this regulator mounted back onto the bracket. And a couple things. One is that now they don't tap these holes for you. They give you kind of a cheesy self-tapping screw, which you can't put enough torque on these with a Phillips head to get those to go all the way in and seat. So I had to tap it out with a tap. And this is not a bottoming tap, this is a through tap. So I just kind of had to work the things together to make that work. And then number two, you can see the difference in the size of the holes. So they want you to have 3 sheet metal screws with sharp screw ends sticking out through your fender well or something, I don't know. But I'm set up for 2 5/16 18 screws. So I'm going to drill these 2 holes out and make that match. And then something else I'll show you on the car is that, I don't know if the lighting will be good enough to see this, but the holes that the regulator mounted on, this regulator was kind of mounted out a square, so I opened up this hole just a little bit bigger to give me some room to slide the regulator back and forth and kind of square it up on the fender well so it'll look a little bit neater. So that's what we're doing so far. So this is why I like this drill and this vise from Harbor Freight, even though it's not the most expensive one, but it's pretty rock solid, and it has a nice V-groove in there that you can do things like set an edge in and keep the workpiece square and secure, and it'll just make drilling these holes out just a breeze. I'll try to be overhanded here so you can see. My favorite go-to drill. Just kiss the next size bigger, and that gives you a nice chamfer on your hole. So go through there, and then just give it a little kiss with the next step up. And you get a nice chamfer. And then what I'll do is flip it over. manipulation here because of the distances. I think if I was gonna get, the next thing I would get is a regular full-size drill press instead of this benchtop model, just because of distances. So there we go. I got holes all done. Okay, so now that the bracket has been drilled, these 5/16 18s will go right through there. This is hard to do while you're holding the camera. So we're all set there. That conversion's been made. Next thing now is to start getting the fittings. Here's the new adapter fitting for the, this will adapt. This is the fitting here that I have the hose attached to that goes to the fuel pressure gauge, so that will adapt to there. That goes to that spot. I'm waiting for the 90-degree elbow that comes here. I could just remove this one and then transfer over, but once this is in, there's no turning it because it's up against the fender well, so that kind of presents a problem. So anyways, that's what we'll work on next, is getting these fittings changed over. So the assembly is almost complete, except this elbow fitting, which just came from FedEx, and I'm going to put the Loctite 529 sealant on this one, and then I have to torque it around and then line it up with the way the old fittings came in. So just work on that for a minute. Okay, regulator's bolted back in, squared it up a little bit, looks a little bit better there. So now I'll hook the fittings back up. And there it is, all put back together again. Looks a lot prettier than what I had before. So now the only thing left to do is do a little leak check and then set the pressure regulator. And we can set it initially, and then the final step will be when the engine's running. So that's the last word, is once the engine's running, consuming fuel, and you're constantly emptying and filling the float holes. So that's what we'll do. So we ran it for a good couple seconds, well actually about a good 10 or 15 seconds, and it showed about 4.5 pounds of pressure, which is what Holly says they set them at. So I'd rather be on the low side and come up than be on the high side. So anyways, looks good. Looks like we got leakage taken care of. So this is the path that the fuel lines are taking, and so I'd like to change these blue fittings over to black next. So that's that on that. Finally got the fuel system pretty much rebuilt. So that's it. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Please tickle that like button and subscribe by all means. Appreciate that. Somehow or another, I want to get this thing going to where that I can kind of give a few people I told you so thing. Just keep working at this video. Almost forgot to say, now that the fuel system is complete, the next thing is that hopefully the powder coater calls me within the next day or two. They're down in Fort Wayne, Indiana, and we'll be taking a trip down there, and if they're agreeable, maybe we'll get some footage down there at their shop. Really nice people, really nice place, stock car racer family, and I enjoy doing business with them. So please like and subscribe. Hope you enjoy the video. So I'll tell you what's coming up, and then also finishing up that carburetor, and then hopefully we have warm enough weather I can do the carb swap out, dial the carbs in, and get those wheelie bars put on. So thanks for watching.